Good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I would like to remind everyone to please turn off any of their cell phones or any electronic devices you may have. I'd like to state that this school board meeting is taking place on Treaty 1 land and the traditional homeland of the Red River Métis. Call to order and roll call. Mr. Cochin, please proceed with roll call.
Roll call for the special board meeting of Winnipeg School Division for March 14th, 2022. Trustee Adele.
Here.
Trustee Reed.
Here.
Trustee Dumont.
Here.
Trustee Shetkowski.
Here.
Trustee Chen.
Here.
Trustee Broughton.
Here.
Thank you. Approval of agenda moved by Trustee Broughton, seconded by Trustee Reed, that the agenda be approved. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Business matters as defined in Rule 44.7, moved by Trustee Dumont, seconded by Trustee Reed, that the board move into business matters as defined in Rule 44.7. Carried. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Chair, I would like to report on the following. I move that the budget of the Winnipeg School Division showing estimated expenditures of $437 million, $437,118,200 for the fiscal period July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023 be adopted, and that in accordance with Section 187 of the Public Schools Act, the City of Winnipeg be required to raise by special levy for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022, the total sum of $197,069,199.
Can I get a seconder, please? Trustee Shetkowski. All those in favor? Trustee
Discussion, please.
Broughton. Sorry, Trustee Broughton first.
Sorry, Trustee Chen had her hand up first.
Okay, Trustee Chen.
Just want to, thank you. Just want to make a comment as we the board is passing the budget. I am reluctant to support this budget. I've received, as all the trustees on the board have received numerous emails from parents asking the board to save for the kindergarten. Their children are enrolled in full day kindergarten, and these parents spoke on the value of full day kindergarten based on their first-hand experience and the growth that they've seen in their children. These parents do not just see full day kindergarten as a childcare space, but a valuable program that boosts children's academic gain, self-confidence, and social skills. As a mother of who has one child currently in kindergarten in the Winnipeg School Division Ward 6, I'm saddened that the board is not able to save full day kindergarten in this budget. I know my own child, like his classmates, would benefit from being with other children in a learning environment, especially as COVID has greatly impacted our children's ability to meet and grow with others their age. As an elected school trustee, I know our education system will face severe challenges in the coming years because the provincial government is unwilling to properly fund our schools and restrict school boards' ability to raise our own funds. The cuts in last year's budget impact our communities. The provincial government provides one-time funding to school divisions in this budget, and it may look like that school divisions are able to maintain status quo. However, it is unsustainable to rely on one-time funding to run programs. We need continuous sufficient funding and genuine commitment from the provincial government. So I have great concern for our education system looking ahead and anticipate that this provincial government is going to continue to force school divisions to make harmful decisions, including cutting programs like full-day kindergarten due to provincial funding shortages. And as school trustees, we need to continue advocating for adequate, sustainable, and long-term funding from our provincial partners. So I'm reluctant to support this budget, and I will continue to advocate for more funding and quality education for our families. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Chen. Trustee Broughton?
I share in Trustee Chen's disappointment with the provincial government, but my disappointment extends much further than that and to this board. This board, a board that will consult publicly with stakeholders and parents and communities on a whole host of issues, chose to cut full-day kindergarten with no consultation with the community. When the community rose up and said, hold on, you're not getting the full picture. There is so much here that you're not made aware of, that you're not being told about the value of this program. The board continued to not consult with the community about the very valuable programs that exist in the Winnipeg School Division. And when faced with an opportunity to continue funding these programs, this Board of Trustees has chosen not to. At a time when talking to early years educators and parents across the division, you're seeing students enter the classroom lower and lower with a lower academic skills coming into kindergarten, lower fine motor skills, lower socioeconomic supports in the community, and reduced social emotional skills. At a time when that is all occurring, we have a pandemic that exacerbates all those very same issues, and we have a program tailor-made, suited for addressing those concerns in the community and supporting students and giving them a boost, a start, like some of the other programs in early years that the Winnipeg School Division has always championed. And so here we are, a program that's well loved by the community, parents, educators. Here we are, the Winnipeg School Division is cutting the program with little to no consultation, and at a time when there's an opportunity to not only to deliver and make those tough decisions. Yes, the provincial government is making funding difficult, but the Winnipeg School Division has a choice. A budget is a value statement, and today the Winnipeg School Division is saying that they do not value early childhood education. They do not value consulting with the community, and they do not value programs that drive equity, that drive making things better for those that need it most. And so I'm deeply disappointed and will not be supporting this budget in any way.
Thank you. Vice Chair Dumont, can I pass you the chair, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Trustee Adele?
So I'd like to speak on this budget. I have concerns about it too. I think I look at the kindergarten program differently, how it was set up from the very beginning. I understand it was put in 9 wards. And I also understand in the inner city where there's the highest poverty area, which if we want to talk about equity, really that's where all the kindergarten programs should have been put in the first place, is where it would have made the most difference. So I guess my thoughts is, I think we brought it out there. I look at this in a way that we need to look at what we're offering young people from the very beginning. We need to look at the continuum and the broad perspective of stuff. So I don't look at this as we're doing this now and never shall it come back again. I look at this as an opportunity for all of us to look at, what do we have now? Is it what we need now? And this year to help us plan to move forward on this. So I don't look at this as the end. I look at it as a time to move forward, to engage with people from the community, to look at what we offer. Are we offering what we need to offer? What money do we need for it? Who do we need to partner with? So I just look at this as a time to just stop for a bit and then turn around and really have a good look at what it is that we are doing, so that we can make sure that the needs, it's going to the communities that will benefit the most from what we have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Adele. Trustee Broughton, do you have a point of clarification?
Yeah, I seek some clarification from our board chair. She's indicating that or suggesting in her comments that the only place that there's a socioeconomic issue is in the inner city of the Winnipeg School Division. I would suggest that that's a blatantly false statement and that poverty exists right across the division. I'll agree that it's concentrated in some areas, but poverty and need exists everywhere in the Winnipeg School Division.
So just for a point of clarification, I'm not saying that poverty doesn't exist in all areas. I'm just saying that we need to look at the areas that have the most poverty and figure out how we focus more impact in there. That's all I'm saying about that. So I'm just saying there's different degrees of poverty, there's different degrees of support in different communities. So if we're talking about equity, how do we get the people who are at the very back up more towards the front? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Adele. I hand the chair back to you.
Thank you. So all those in favor?
We have a hand up.
Oh, sorry, Trustee Shinkowski.
That's okay. I was just slow at the draw again. I too have great concerns with this budget. But unfortunately, where do we get the money? That's something we should be working on, or we should have worked on prior to this meeting. I asked, do we still have time to reach out to our communities? Do we have time to kind of muscle the government or the city to find this money for us? I guess I'm asking, what can we do at this time?
So Trustee Shinkowski, just so you know, we have to hand in the budget tomorrow to the province. But like I said, we can work on this for the next year to come up with a good plan. Thank you. Trustee Dumont?
Thank you. I just want to have an opportunity to just speak to this budget, echoing a lot of concern with it, as we've already heard from my colleagues, so I won't repeat a lot of that. While this board did not make a decision around full-day kindergarten based upon finances, we certainly did hear from the community that they value that program. And unfortunately, we do have a lot of programs that our community very much values. And historically, we've been able to work with that community to either add or maintain programs that we think they find valuable to them. Much like Trustee Adele, I hope that we don't see this as the end of a conversation, but an ongoing conversation on how we can continue to do this, since now recently, more recently, we have been unable to go to our community and ask them for that support to be able to make these programs continue and to make them happen. I'm really frustrated that that wasn't an option for us. And as we saw last year, when we had to find quite a large amount of reductions in our budget, we end up always going back to these programs that are value to our community. And there is nothing left. There is no room left to go back and do that. One-time funding isn't going to be the answer. That's not going to let us do it either. These are long-term ongoing programs that are community values that benefit children and our students. So I hope to see this as an ongoing conversation around what we're able to do, to look at potentials for partnerships, and to be able to deliver sort of the education system that our communities want.
Thank you. Trustee Broughton?
I have a question of clarification. This would be, if memory strikes me, our fourth budget that we've passed as a board. It sounds like there's some confusion among some trustees about the timeline of when we pass a budget and when we can get the work done. Is there still a misunderstanding of how the budget process works at this point in time, as we are about to vote on a budget very publicly for the community, that we're not quite of understanding of how this works? That surprises me and deeply concerns me.
Were you asking that of any specific person? Because I'm like, did you want to ask all of us if we understood what we were doing? I'm not sure what it is you're trying to get clarification on, and from whom.
I heard mention from a trustee that they didn't understand the process and the timeline. So I didn't notice exactly who said it, but I'm deeply concerned that as a board we haven't figured this out yet.
That was me that asked that question, but I probably asked it in the roundabout way. I understand that we have a budget, but I didn't realize that we had to have it done by tomorrow, but that is by my own fault, not the system that we know about. I was just kind of, I guess, looking for a line that maybe we could postpone this, maybe we can do this, like just looking for answers to keep these programs in place. But it was not that I did not know.
Thank you for clarifying, Trustee Szynkowski. Are there any more questions of clarification? Okay. All those in favor of the budget? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Trustee Demott,
I have
next one.
another recommendation. So I move that the board approve an application of accumulated surplus for the 2022-2023 fiscal year in the amount of $525,358 to offset the annual 2022-2023 budgeted deficit.
Can I get a seconder, please? Trustee Reed. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you. And Chair, I just would like to report that the members of the board received an update on COVID regarding masks.
Thank you. Moved by Trustee Reed that the meeting be adjourned. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone. Good night.